Live.
Hey everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And we're the Streeters.
Welcome to the RDRV channel tonight and the RDRV Glass Studio live stream Q&A. We're here to answer your questions tonight about stained glass. And we're also featuring a viewer showcase.
That's right.
And
thank
glass cutting demo and your glass chat tonight.
Barb's got it going on tonight, everybody. So yeah, we've got a feature, our viewer showcase. Thank everybody for sending in those beautiful stained glass projects that you're working on. They make us smile. So hopefully we're going to make the rest of the viewers smile tonight too. So we got lots of things going on. Just a simple start it right out of the box here. Just a couple of announcements. But we're going to get to that. Let's give everybody time to kind of tune in, get their bell going and line up and make sure their internet's working at the house or on the TV.
So Ray's here and CM's here. Hi, Ray.
Hey, Ray, good evening.
Toast is here and Anna Houlihan is here.
Great. Thank you all for tuning in.
Good to see everybody. So we have some announcements coming up and we're going to wait a few minutes. We're going to get started.
Yeah, just a few minutes, give everybody time to chime in.
Go ahead and announce this one thing right now. It's pretty exciting. How about this? We have a new sponsor, y'all.
I know.
Sunshine Glassworks is our new sponsor for the RDRV live stream.
And we want to thank Scott and Barb and Sean for participating in this project with us and also being a sponsor for the RDRV Glass Studio. So y'all don't forget, we mentioned Sunshine quite a bit during our live stream, and we finally got them as a sponsor, and we're really excited to have them on board. So remember, Sunshine Glassworks is in Buffalo. They ship all over the country, and they have in stock over 8,000 items, and including more than 1,500 colors of glass made both in the United States and overseas.
Yeah.
So we want to give them a big shout out and a welcome. Y'all, thank you for coming on board. We appreciate it. And welcome to the RDRV Glass Studio channel.
Ephraim is here. Pam Frederick is here. Tom Sharp is here. Christine Donaldson is here. Joe Marrow is here. Julie Graves is here. So we have it. Everyone's here
tonight.
We have
a full house tonight, y'all.
Okay, so we do have some announcements. The Stained Glass Retail Store, as you know, as we've told you before, we just want to give you a reminder, open September 15th. We'll be open on Wednesdays from 10 to 5 through December 21st.
And there's no need for an appointment on Wednesday from 10 to 5. We know that you're coming, so we'll be ready for you.
Another thing, if you want to know about upcoming events and sales that we're having, go to conwayglass.com. Up there, you see the website, and just fill out the form, and you can be signed up for the newsletter.
And if you get that newsletter, y'all, Barbara usually sends out one once a month starting in October and every other month throughout the rest of the year to keep everybody up to date. We're so excited about reopening our retail store doors on September the 15th. We know it's only one day a week, y'all, but it's a good day of the week. It's Wednesday, and we're really excited about it, Barb.
Sherry is here. Dana is here, and Pauline Miller is here.
Hey, thank you all for tuning
everyone. We have one more announcement. No.
Big news today.
No. Yeah, big news.
Big news. I'm going to let Barbara tell you because you know what?
Last week.
She is the reason we got this big news.
No, well,
Barb's
not
the reason
really.
Y'all are the reason too, but
it's
a
them, the viewers. It's the viewers.
It's you guys.
Okay, last week I told you we had 600,000 views. This week we are up to 1 million views, y'all. We got 400,000 views last week, and that's because you guys have been watching. So hey, we're so excited.
Hats off to you, and a round of applause. Thank you all very much. We never could have done it without you.
Thank you, guys.
And you know what? Our next goal is 10,000 subscriptions. And
subscribers.
I mean, yes, 10,000 subscribers. And we really want you guys, of course, you're part of it now. So let's get that 10,000 subscribers by Christmas for us. and help us out. Those of you in the waiter that are back in the wings watching the show, we had 500 subscribers just this week. So we know you're there, whether you've signed in or not. Thank you for tuning into the RDRV Glass Studio channel. We hope that we can answer your questions and help you with your future and today's projects.
Mimi is here. Martha Crowder is here. I said hello to Christine Donaldson and Julie Graves. Hey, y'all. Pauline's here. Oh, who did I miss? I missed somebody. I'm going to get all of our hellos out of the way before we start taking questions. Joanne is here and Pam is here. And it's good to see you all.
It's good.
Hope you're having a happy Labor Day.
Yeah, it's a great day. It's a great day.
Okay, so if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. We'll be happy to answer them. I do want to give a big shout out to Ray. Ray's here. He's our moderator. And just everybody tell Ray hi. Yeah, and thank you. Thank you, Ray, for all you do.
For all you do, buddy. You do much more than you think you do, and we appreciate it very much. Yeah. So y'all, everybody, Ray is our live stream RDRV moderator.
And if I miss a question, just tell Ray and Ray will tell me, or Ray, give me a shout out. I missed somebody's question because sometimes it gets kind of busy up here. So if you have a question, just put it in the chat. Yeah, we're
probably going to get a larger monitor and actually a vertical monitor that our grandson told us about. So we like that.
I had a question come in from Christine. Christine wanted to know what our thoughts were on the Sibelschnitt. Anyway, Sibelschnitt glass running pliers.
Right.
And I've never used them. Have you?
I have never used them, but I'd look them up, Christine, and I'm a big fan. Any tool that is made in Germany, they've put a lot of thought behind it anyway. And looking at it, the way that the runners are, I believe that those running pliers would be really good for trying to run out inside curves, because if you look at them, the throat is a little bit deeper than the rest of the running pliers that are available. And it has that little tiny ball pin at the bottom and then two little arms on the side. I think those running pliers would be great for running out, going inside and kind of moving that run for you. Anyway, I have never tried those pliers before. And I think at $30, that's probably a buy, and you can get them from Bowl. And again, any tool that's made for your hands, to work with your hands, that's made in Germany, I'm all for it anyway. My circle cutters in the back are all manufactured in Germany, and the Germans do a really good job with their hand tools. So.
Yeah, so if you like what we're doing here at the RDRV channel, give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it.
We'd appreciate your thumbs up.
Okay, we had another question come in. We did that little video on, we were spraying something, and we did tell in the video what it is, but I don't think it was quite clear. We were spraying on the pendants.
Oh, on the pendants, yeah. So, Barb, on the pendants, we had to use a 1350 degree spray glaze or a devertification spray. What that does, devertification, it's
devertification.
Yeah, you have to pronounce it correctly or it does something different. So anyway, that spray that we use goes on as a glaze on top of the pendant. Because the pendants go to about 1374, 75, 76 degrees before they do what I want them to do. You can take them up much higher if you need to. But that glaze will stop the surface of the glass from divertifying, which means it's going to give it a dull, almost burnt look to it. And but that spray stops that. You can brush it on. I use an airbrush just because it's much easier for me to use an airbrush, but you can brush it on with a very light brush and you have to allow it to dry completely before you fire it. And it only requires one coat. So
yeah. So that's
on our website yet, Barb?
What is
The
that?
spray,
No,
the glaze.
no.
We'll
but
get it on there. For
Yeah,
you.
we'll get it on in our Amazon store or on our website.
Or you can go directly to Sunshine Glass and buy it from them. And y'all, if you buy anything from Sunshine, let them know. Please let them know that you're from the RDRV channel, and because this is a new thing for them, it's a new thing for us, and we want to make sure that it works for them.
And two, they have it online. You can order online, but also they're located in Buffalo, New York. So if you're near there, you can go see them. But check their website for their hours first.
Yeah, check their website. And so it's www.sunshineglassworks.com. Okay,
so we have some questions coming in. Larry Mary said he used those running pliers and they're great on curves.
I bet they are. That's because they have a deeper, they look like on the photograph, they look like they have a little bit deeper throat. And I think simply because of that little ball in the bottom under the running pliers, that is going to work good. So yeah, I suggest if you're thinking about buying maybe those running pliers, I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to buy a pair and I'm going to get them ordered the first of the week. And if Larry likes them for curves, that's what I thought they would be really good for. So we want to make sure that we get that right. And I agree with Larry. I believe they're going to be really good for taking curves out. Barb, with the
thank you, Thomas.
Hey, thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it. So when you're in those curves, the Morton system, Barb, has that long breaker bar. Mm-hmm. And if you look at that long breaker bar, it has a little pin on the bottom, a bubble on the bottom, and another little thing on the top is designed like it, but it reaches in really far for you to cut those pieces of glass. So yes, I agree with the German hand tool, the running pliers. And if you're thinking about buying them, I would think it'd be a good buy.
Tom said that he paid more than $30 for them and he doesn't really like them. So maybe you could go to your stained glass retailer and try those.
Try them out. They may have a pair
first because they may not fit well in your hands, or you just may not like them.
And they
you don't want to spend that money if you can help it.
They're aluminum and they don't have any cushions on the handles or anything. So, I mean, they're kind of raw looking, but again, they may work just fine for small
certain things.
Yeah, for like inside curves, kind of like you can see the black on that right there. That I would think that those running pliers work great for that little area right there.
Okay, so
just a piece of glass I had laying on the table.
wants to know, is there a technique for finding score lines on modeled glass?
Yeah. You just have to look for it because you're gonna see it. It's actually a scratch. Martha, I'm not sure.
You'll see it in certain you're not wherever it's white, you're not going to
see it if it's white. If you pull your cutter off the end and it's white right there, you better have looked at where you're finished because you're not going to see it.
You're not going to see it, but you're going to be able to tell where your line is because you're going to be able to sight, where it's a color, you should be able to get that sight.
Yeah, and once you've used the oil that's in your cutter head, and don't put any more in it, that your cuts will be much easier to see as well. Now, right now, you're probably leaving a little wet streak right there. And that's probably, if you got oil in your cutter, Martha, you probably ought to be looking, looking for that little oil skid mark. So,
Patricia.
I hope that helps, Martha.
Patricia's getting ready to cut her first wood frame. She bought the oak frame with the channel already.
Don't you love it? Don't you love
it? She wanted to know if you had any tips.
Well, one thing you want to make sure, two things, okay, is your saw blade on what's called a cutoff or a chop saw needs to be sharp. And the other thing is they make a little guide there that once you get the wood where you want it, and you can tighten it up and hold the wood in place. I suggest you use that for a little while until you get the hang of actually grabbing the back of the bridge and holding the wood tight and using the saw all at the same time. So you're kind of multitasking when you're making wood, when you're making the wooden frames. But I sincerely believe that you're going to enjoy the wood. Get you some Elmer's wood glue, and you're going to want to drill the hole for your screw 1/8 of an inch in diameter
From the sides.
from the side, because you're going to hang it from the top. So your screw goes in from the side, and you glue it, clamp it, and screw it. And make sure you countersink the head for the screw if you're using like a very coarse 1.5 inch sheetrock screw. And if you're using a regular frame screw that has a washer and a flat and what they call a pan head on the top of it, then you don't need to countersink it. But you want to make sure you glue those corners, and you want to make sure that you pre-drill the wood with an 1/8 inch drill bit. And good luck. Watch the video that we have about making frames.
Yeah, you can go to
And you can keep playing it.
Yeah, the RDRV channel, and just search for, I think the video is called Frame It. And
I think it is Frame It,
there are
Barb.
some tips in there for making sure that you've got everything
And the other tip that I have is in that video is go and purchase the adjustable corner clamp, the miter clamp. You only need one. Okay. You don't need to go buy 2 or 3 or 4. You don't need to put it all in there in the clamp at one time. Just do a long side and a short side each time. Form yourself 2 L's, put your window in 1 L, and then put your other L on it, and glue it and screw it and clamp it. And you're going to be so happy that you use the wood as opposed to using a zinc frame around your window.
Thank you, Ray. Ray has posted Sunshine Glassworks website. So if you guys, after the live stream, want to check back, or you could just go ahead and go there, but don't leave us. Come right back.
Yeah,
but you could go to their website.
Leave us yet.
You go to their website so that you can bookmark it, and then come right back and join us. So
yeah, and if you have any questions, they're really helpful too.
They're very helpful. Joanne said that she has soldered a panel with a zinc frame, and then she noticed some pieces shifted, and there is a gap between the lead and glass. What's the best way to remove the solder so I can redo the glass?
Oh my. Well,
that's not good.
No, that's not good, but there's a couple different ways to remove solder. Since it's on the edge, what I would do is I would stand the window up, heat the solder up, and let it roll right off onto the table.
I was just laughing at that. Okay.
No, you can laugh. You can laugh. We're not laughing at you. But yeah, try and stand that up. If not, use what they call a solder sucker, which is basically from removing mucus from a baby's nose when they don't feel well. So
yeah, they have solder suckers, but you can buy them at the drugstore.
You can buy them at the drugstore just as easy. Same thing.
Joanne said that you can try running a Sharpie over the cut to find the score line. So that's
true. The other thing is your fingernail.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, Joanne. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for chiming in, hon. We appreciate it.
You do want to cut that quickly. I mean, turn it, cut it on the hot. I mean, score it on the hot side.
Yeah, when you score it, if you're cutting a pattern, spin that bad boy around and start to break it from the hot end. Okay, don't break it on the cold end.
Yeah.
And I know that's kind of goofy for y'all, but I promise you, it works. I've been doing it for years.
Yeah. And when you're cutting modeled glass, it is tricky, because you'll see some videos that we did
with modeled glass.
And you have some modeled glass.
And we're cutting modeled glass tonight on the glass chat, or the demo. I'm sorry, the demo.
Mm-hmm.
I consider them both one, but they're actually not. Two. They're not. They're two. Just like
One's
Barbara and I are two
chat,
different people.
Yeah, and then the demo. So
and then the demo. Yeah, so glass chat and a demo. But for the demo, I've got a piece of Chicago art glass, and I don't know when y'all last heard those 3 words, Chicago art glass. And so I want to show you about that when we get started in the
what you going to do? The demo?
And what I'm going to do, the demo, I'm not going to do it right now, but
okay.
When we do a demo, we're going to be cutting a piece of modeled Chicago art glass. And I want y'all to know that when we do open the stained glass retail shop, if you love mottled glass and you love color, we have got the mottled colored glass from Chicago Art Glass. And it's
nice.
really nice to work with. It's like any other mottled glass. It does its own thing, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is very pretty.
And stick around because we are cutting mottled glass on the demo tonight.
Kat St. Jane is here. Hey, Kat.
Hey, Kat, good to see you.
Okay. Do we have any more questions right now? I did have something funny come in this week. It was a comment, and I thought it was funny, and I think that you guys might find this funny. I had someone say they did not understand why we have to number our pieces, that we should be able to remember exactly where they go, and we should know where each piece goes without numbering it. So that was a comment I got.
Oh, my.
So I think you guys can relate to that. Not numbering your pieces would be.
Not numbering your pieces would make it a true puzzle.
It would be a puzzle.
It would be a true puzzle. I can only imagine not numbering the live oak window.
It would be
12 separate windows, 3,500 individual pieces of glass.
Yeah, that would be tough.
And what do I do?
When you're working on a little sun catcher, of course you
Well,
don't
when
have
you're
to
working on
number.
4 or 5 pieces of glass, yeah, they can't go together but one way.
Yeah.
But I think it's really good, and I definitely, as you said in your question, I definitely am a professional. I definitely do this for a living, but I definitely number my pieces.
So I think that person just didn't really realize how many pieces go into a piece. So they were kind of just chiming in. But we appreciate the comment.
A starfish. We got a starfish pattern that I just came up with. And it's only got 5 pieces in it. But you know what? It's numbered 1 through 5.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
That's
a habit. That's a habit.
Right. It's a habit.
Okay, when you are cutting the glass, does your middle finger, and they were watching the pencil grip cutter video, does your middle finger actually touch the glass? And does that also help you guide the cut?
You know what? Thank you for the question, first of all. I just put my cutter in my hand, and you know what? I didn't realize it. Yes, my middle finger right there drags along the surface of the glass. The other thing that my middle finger does is it helps me guide my score, and also I'm turning in my hand. So here's my glass cutter. That was a really good question. And you're right. If you look at that, my finger is below the cutter head, and it just glides right on the top of it. And, but yeah, hey, you know what? That's really nice of you to pay that much close attention to me scoring the glass. Thank you very much.
And we just put out a video. I think it came out at 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock. How to use your pencil grip cutter. So if you have a question about that, I think it's just a 50.
Yeah, we did a video on using 4 different cutters, didn't we?
Yeah, we did 4 different colors, but this one is just the pencil, and it's a 58, and it tells all how to hold it, how to use it,
and also how to use both pair of your breaking pliers, whether they're your runner or your grousers. It shows you how to do them. It's a combo.
Yeah, that was a good question.
We've had some really good questions tonight, Barb.
A question came in about clear contact paper. We had a video where we used clear contact paper,
right?
And they wanted to. They missed the part about what we did with the clear contact paper, and that's pretty good.
Hand me a piece of paper, Barb. Just hand me a piece of paper, and I'll just explain to them what we do. If this was the pattern,
okay.
So if this were your pattern, typically we make 3 copies of it, of a sun catcher pattern. One is your cartoon. The other one's your pattern that you cut out. And your third pattern should be covered with contact paper on both sides. And what that'll allow you to do is when you're grinding your piece, you can put your pieces on the pattern that's covered with the contact paper to make sure that they fit correctly. The other thing is you can, you can use your pattern and cover it with contact paper. Your second, the one that you're going to cut out, cover it with contact paper, because then your pattern becomes more rigid and will last you forever. So the contact paper does a couple different things, but mainly what it does is it saves your pattern from being destroyed while you're working on it. And you can always, once it's cut, stick it in an envelope, name it, and go on about your business. Thank you, Barbara.
You're welcome. Burnt Roll Toast said they had a small piece of solder fall off of their piece when cleaning the patina off of it. What is the typical cause for that?
That is just looks like a solder. Was it a solder ball, Burnt Roll Toast? Because a lot of times you will have a solder ball plop off, or it may be right on the lead or the foil, but sometimes you can just take your fingernail and just pop it right off because it's not completely stuck there. You may have moved your iron, lifted your iron up too fast or something while you were soldering. A lot of things can cause the solder, but it's not if it's soldered to the lead or if it's soldered on the foil correctly, it's not going to come off. But it sounds to me like that was just a little simple solder ball, and those have to be removed anyway before you start puttying or cleaning. So, right?
Right. We had someone ask about how to hold a pistol grip cutter, and I just want to tell everyone we did a video again. I tell you guys again, we did a video on 4 cutters.
It's a 58 seconds, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a short, but check it
pencil
out.
grip, the pistol grip, the
Fletcher ball,
Fletcher,
and the palm rest.
Palm rest, yeah. So all 4 of those, you can look and see how they're held and how you cut
And I
it.
show you how to hold the pistol grip cutter, but I also show you that your index finger goes down on the head, because that's what's going to help you guide that. Because if you'll notice, man, that the pistol grip cutter, that's, yeah, like they say on the commercial, keep your head on a swivel. That bad boy's on a swivel. You can believe it. It moves all over the place. But I use that cutter for very specific reasons.
That's right.
I don't cut straight lines with a pistol grip cutter because personally I don't use it enough to control the head for a straight line. So
that's right.
And I'll admit to you, I don't use it enough to control a straight line.
What do you mean? Oh, the
pulling this long straight line.
Yeah.
I just
You can't do it.
My pencil grip is my go-to cutter. There's 3 things that go in my pants pocket every morning: a tape measure, a glass cutter, and a pocket knife. And I'm ready to go to work.
Okay. So do we have any questions real quick? We might go ahead and go to what do you want to do first, the demo or the glass chat?
Let's do the glass chat. I just picked out a pretty piece of glass from Kokomo, and it's a simple piece of glass, but it is very pretty. But you know what, Barb? Before we get started on that, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And those of you that haven't taken the time to subscribe to the RDRV channel, please do so. As you can see, 1 million views.
We're growing.
Thank you. We're growing, and we want you to be a part of it. And don't forget, if you do subscribe, go to the top of the page, click on the notification bell so that you're notified each time Barbara comes out with a short or a long to explain to you more about this beautiful process we call stained glass windows.
Thank you, Ed. We do have viewer showcases coming up, but we're going to do, what did you want to do? Glass
I'll
chat?
show them the glass first. Yeah, because
okay,
this really is pretty.
Chat.
And it's just a simple glass that we picked up that we're using on this large project. And it's going to be, part of the reflection. I think that these windows all have reflections. So this is a Wismac glass, okay, Wismount, and it is a 27 LL double roll. The LL I've in the Wismac glasses makes you realize if it has a LL in it, it's going to have a lot of clear glass along with swirly colors. So I'm going to stick this right under here, Barb.
Ooh, that's pretty.
So I want you to see this. And there's it's not a lot of transparent, but this is when I saw this, it made me think of fall because it was so nice out last night and very nice early this morning here in South Carolina. And it just made me think of fall. This is a great glass for leaves, also a great glass for fire. Now, we had a question a couple weeks ago about what glasses could I use for fire. I'm going to honk on this one right here. Wismac 27LL. It's got a lot of clear in it, but it's also got orange, and it's running through it, and it is a beautiful, beautiful campfire glass.
So that's a Wismac 27LL.
Yeah, Wismac 27 DR, double rolled. Okay, so it's an orange streaked on clear smooth, easy to cut, not a problem. And if you're doing anything fall like this year, for the fall, for a festival coming up, maybe October, November, that might be the glass that you want to use, everybody, because it is gorgeous.
It is pretty. Looks like fire.
Looks like fire. Ooh, looks like fire.
Magali's here. Magali made it.
Hey, Magali, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in, hon.
Okay, so we're going to go to, let's see what you want to do.
We're going to go to the glass demo bar. Let's do that. Let's see what's happening in the glass demo.
All right.
So I have a piece of glass I'm going to share with y'all. I don't have the number for this glass. This is a Chicago art glass. And y'all realize Chicago art glass hasn't been made in a very long time. However, we found some of it.
Okay, so
where are we? Let me get over. There we go. We're in the middle.
We're right there.
It's in the middle. Here we go. So we're gonna start out by making a score on this glass in the opposite direction of the grain for the glass. We're just gonna score. Ready? So listen to our cutter. And yet it's bouncing, it's bobbling, it's rolling all over the place. But I want you to see, I don't know if can they see that bar if I just hold it still and allow the camera to focus or closer?
You could get it closer and allow the camera to focus. It should do it.
Hang on, let me move my hands out of the way. Okay. But what I want you to see is this glass is red and white.
And I can't see it because it's...
And it's swirled. I'll just turn it like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's red and white and it's swirled. Now the difference in the red is a lot different. But what we're going to do, this is a modeled glass. The models are on the back side.
And this is the Chicago art glass.
This is the Chicago art glass. Yeah. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to cut this. Now we're going to turn this around and we're going to break it
from the hot side.
From the hot side. Now, if you're having trouble cutting glass with models, here's what you're going to run into. If you watch some of the shorts along with us cutting glass tonight, your cutter is going to drop down. I forgot we have two screens now. Y'all can see me cut glass and I can look at the camera. So you have what I call divots and pucker marks and just basic inherent qualities of how the glass is made. And so when you're driving your glass cutter up the glass and you feel yourself go into a crack, don't stop. Please don't stop. Just drive right out of it, come out, and keep moving forward. Because what we want to do, I'm going to cut this again. And you hear that I went into a crack. I drove right out of the crack. I'm going to spin my glass around. I'm going in about up to the rubber, edge of the rubber on my runners. And I'm going to score it just like that. So the other thing we want to do and now we're going to take our grousers. Okay. Now, the reason we use our grousers on that is because our running pliers are way too narrow to produce a run on such a narrow piece of glass. So this is This is a mottled glass, just like any other mottled glass. And if you just listen to your glass cutter, everyone, and remember what I told you. It doesn't matter if the glass is highly textured, really rough, even rough on the side that you're trying to cut it on. Don't change the pressure on your glass cutter for the glass. Keep the same amount of pressure, start to finish, that you would use on a simple piece of window glass as you do right here, okay? Right here on this beautiful Chicago art glass, model glass. Okay? And this is beautiful. Look at that. Look at the models on that, y'all.
That's pretty.
This is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So keep in mind too, I just want to let y'all know about this. Christmas is coming up, and Barb and I have lots of red and lots of green and lots of white. So when you come to the retail store, it's here.
Okay. So that was good, Ed. Thank you very much.
Can I show them another piece of glass?
Sure, go for it.
So this was a red and white Chicago art glass. This is a red and white Spectrum. And this is like a 359.6. This is red and white swirled Spectrum. This is an old piece of glass, but it basically cuts the same way as long as you cut it on what I call the smooth side. It doesn't always break correctly for me, just like it doesn't always break correctly for you. However, if you will take the time to practice on some window glass and practice on your scrap glass is in that bin for a reason, because it's scrap glass. Doesn't matter how much smaller you make it. So practice on that glass with your cutter. Learn, get a feel for it, see what it's doing, what it's not doing, and what you need to do to make it happen. And you'll feel much more confident the next time you attack a piece of glass that has a goofy texture, feels weird as you roll across it, or even just looks like it's not going to work. Keep your confidence in your head, everybody, and in your glass cutter, and I promise you, you will succeed.
Score with confidence.
Score with confidence. That's right, Barb.
Julie says you're a magician with glass.
Julie, thank you. You know what? That's a nice comment. And you guys
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys send so many comments that I don't even know that I'm worthy of those nice words. But I thank you very much. I will thank you because they are very kind.
Renee Hipkiss does have a question.
Sure.
She wants to know, why do some patinaed pieces look like they get white mold on them over time?
Well, because actually that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting white mold on them.
Well, that's what they call it.
They call it white mold, but it's basically your cleaning process, and oxidation continues. So moisture, humidity. But here's the thing: if you'll clean your window when you're done with it, clean the flux and everything off of the window initially with baking soda and water, and clean it good. And then you're going to want to patina if you're doing copper foil, if you're doing the Tiffany method, you're going to want to patina that. And you're going to see that because you're using baking soda, that your patina is going to be jet black and beautiful. So then you need to clean that off. And then you need to make sure that you polish it. I use just a simple liquid car wax. There's waxes you can buy out there, and they all do the same thing. I think Thomas was saying that he uses a Carnauba wax on his, and he doesn't.
Some of you use
Pledge. Yeah, some of you use lemon pledge, like the furniture polish. So you do get that white mold, but if you take the time to clean the window correctly and make sure you polish after the wax dries, polish it really well. And because that white mold could be also dry wax.
Yeah, I have my thoughts on that. You know how water gets on your tabletop after you've put furniture polish on it and turns that
Think about it,
furniture
right.
white? If you're polishing your stained glass and it gets moisture on it, you're going to get those little white dots from the
Right,
polish.
Right.
You're going to have to clean those. If you've got something in a damp place, you're just going to have to clean those.
And if you're
sun
putting your
catchers.
stained glass windows outside, you can't control the humidity or the dampness. So yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. There is no stopping it. You know, I've seen some Tiffany windows that are inside museums, and they still attract the white mold on them too. So.
Okay.
Wow, what a beautiful night, Barb.
Yeah, it's great. Brandon wants to know, can recycled material such as copper wire be used in projects?
You better believe it can. Go right ahead, man. Use your upcycle your copper wiring, anything. You know, if the wire, let's say you're using a number 8 or a number 8 or a number 6 wire that has a very small strands in it. Each one of those strands can become a wire that you can actually wrap around your sun catchers to hold everything together in place and not have to go through the expense of, you know, buying a small wire, copper wire that's already pre-tinned. The other thing is you can use heavy copper wire as stands for your sun catchers to put in your plants, to put in your yard, in your garden. And let me tell you, quarter inch copper ground wire does a lot of good things. Of course, it's expensive, but if you have access to it as far as recycling, I would use that.
Yeah, and so Ray says he uses my special formula for cleaning
Well, Barbara uses a special formula on a lot of things around the house, and it does a great job. What it is? Go ahead, Barb.
No, go ahead, tell him.
Okay, because I mix it myself too.
It's good for a lot of things.
It's good for a lot of things, but we use 1 part Dawn soap, 1 part white vinegar, and 1 part water. 1, and 1. It makes 3 parts that'll help you clean everything that you want to clean. And you know what? It even works on the soap film scum on your shower door.
Yeah. Just don't get in the shower with that.
Make sure you rinse it out.
Stuff.
Rinse your
It's
shower
slippery.
with hot water, not cold water.
It's
hot
slippery.
water, because it becomes a skating ring if not. And
Belinda wants to know what type of cloth is better than others to clean with.
I use, Belinda, what I use, I take an old t-shirt and I cut it up and I use part of it to polish and the other part to wax. And just don't mix the two.
Soft. Yeah, you don't want something that's got loose fibers.
And you don't want something that's going to throw a lot of lint all over the place. But an old t-shirt, you know, everybody's got those. You know, we use them for paint rags and everything else. So use an old t-shirt, cut it into 2 parts, leave 1 part for wax and 1 part for wax on and 1 part for wax off.
Yeah. So Magali's having great success with her cutting. She said she uses a lot of textured pieces and she's getting a lot better. So
congratulations, Magali. Thanks for watching, hon.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
And so that's great. Yeah. Another question.
Yeah.
When working with lead cane, can you use zinc for a frame?
You can, and that, you know, that's entirely up to you. I prefer to use lead on the outside of my windows, and I also put any windows that are just going to be loose hanging. I put them in a frame, or I tell the customer that they really need to be in a frame. And you know, because of my position in the art glass industry and my business, if I tell them they really need something, they agree with it because I don't know what I'm talking about. We don't want to hang stained glass from zinc in windows because there's really nothing structural to keep them there forever. So
yeah,
I say forever. Eventually they're going to fall.
Yeah. Well, and you have to
And there's nothing wrong
consider
with
the
using
weight,
zinc,
consider
right?
the weight, and consider
There's
the,
nothing. Don't think that I'm completely against zinc, y'all, because I'm not.
for smaller windows it works good. Okay. So why don't we, are we ready to do the viewer showcase? Do you think?
Well,
Or do you have another glass demo?
well, I think we should do the viewer showcase.
Okay.
And then let's see, while everyone is watching the viewer showcase, enjoying our subscribers' windows, maybe you can think of another question to come back at us with. What do you think?
Yeah. Think of a question. We'll be back with that in a minute, and we'll go ahead and do the viewer showcase.
Here we go. Y'all,
Here
thank
we
you for
go.
sending
Thanks
in your
for
pictures.
sending these in. The first one up. This is Texas Tom, and he sent this because this was the only picture he had, but I thought it was really cute, and I wanted to show it. That's 3 dogs, and they're adorable. The pattern's by Cat's Creations, and that stained glass was by Texas Tom. Thank
Texas Tom, you got it going on, my friend. That's really beautiful.
This is a terrarium, a stained glass terrarium by Renee Hipkiss. And she is a new viewer here at the RDRV channel. We welcome her and thank you for sending that in. We appreciate it. That's cute.
I love terrariums.
You got a
Remember, Dad
green thumb
used to.
too.
Dad used to build terrariums.
Yeah,
remember?
that's great. Okay, is Joey here tonight? Okay, Joey's here usually every week. He might be a little bit late tonight. Oh, I hate he's not here. But this is Joey Arist's beautiful stained glass window.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Nice job, Joey.
Yeah, very pretty. And you see, he's got a wooden frame around his window.
Uh-huh.
And then he's got the screw eyes at the top, and that's how it's going to hang.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that finished window probably only weighs about 12 to 15 pounds, but you know what? It's never, ever going to come apart or fall and break because it's in a wooden frame, y'all.
Okay.
You put that much time in something, you really want to make sure that, you know, it's going to be there.
This is stained glass by Nicole Simmons. Beautiful piece. And she submitted that. That's
Thank you, Nicole. That's really a beautiful
Nicole.
window.
That's a beautiful window. I love the way the clear behind that just highlights the stained glass. It's very pretty. Very pretty. So if you want your work to be considered to be featured on the RDRV channel, just send a message. Go to conwayglass.com and you'll see a place to send a message, and you can send us a message. And we'll send you a place to link.
Yeah, we'll send you back the link, and so that you can send us your photograph. And we really do appreciate y'all taking the time to send us a photograph, because not only does it show off the work that you're doing, but it makes give everybody else ideas and inspires everyone else. So, and that is really important as well. So the inspiration.
Yes. All the pieces were beautiful. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I had a question about the difficulty of cutting a textured glass, and I think we answered that with a short video. So the name of that video is Cutting Textured Glass, and it takes you through the steps on how to cut textured glass.
Yeah, and the most important part that you have to remember, because textured glass is intimidating. You know, it's kind of like those of you that play golf. If the tee box is in front of a lake and the green's on the other side, you know what's intimidating? The lake. So textures, when you look at a textured glass, it becomes the lake to you. It becomes intimidating. But here's the deal. Put your pattern on there, trace your pattern out, cut your glass one score at a time, and break it like that. And do not, y'all, please, don't change the way your pressure is held on your cutter in your hand. Just, it's the same thing. You're probably on a heavy textured piece of glass, you're probably not going to hear your score. Probably. More than likely not. Some of the Euroburoses that we use and some of the bullseyes we use, if you're worried about hearing your score, most of the time, if you're using really elegant glasses, you're not going to hear it. So keep that in mind. Don't become discouraged, and make sure that you don't have too much glass hanging around the piece that you actually want. Okay. So just try that. Take your time, watch the video of us showing you how to cut on textured glass, because we're cutting on some pretty heavy textures there, Barbara.
Yes.
And if those of you that can remember the oak tree window, just almost every piece of that glass was textured. So
that's right.
Yeah. So I even learned stuff during that because of the way the glass was reacting. So,
Now, were you going to do another demo? Oh, I have a question. I do
okay, you have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, but we're going to do one more demo.
Yeah, I'm just going to do something to show.
What is the largest size panel that you could still use copper foil? Tom says you could go as big as you want as long as it's designed well.
Right. Tiffany went as big as he wanted to, too. However, this is what you need to do. You need to make sure that you design your window, because yes, it does have to be reinforced. And you can make that window as big as you want, but however, the only thing what you want to do is make your sections 3x3 or 3x4 at the most, and then you'll join them together with an H aluminum track that is structural. And so there's a lot more to just let's just build a big window, because there's a lot of things that have to come into play as far as building a big window. But with copper foil, stained glass 4x4 is going to be your max, which is 16 square feet. Doesn't matter how it gets there, but that's going to be about your max before you join the bottom to the top. Okay. So if your window is 84 inches tall, the top section and it's 32 inches wide, the top section is going to be 5.5 feet, and your bottom section is going to be 1.5 feet, and they're going to be joined together, and then they're going to have rebar on them every 12 inches, and you're going to make sure that they stay there, not only for you, but for your grandkids and your great grandkids. So pay attention when you're designing windows to design them correctly so that they last you or your customer forever.
Okay, thank you, Ed. Joanne wanted to know, is there a formula to figure out how big an eye hook to use? She doesn't want it to look too big, but she doesn't want it to pull out of the wood.
Joanne, how big is the window? And normally I like to use an eye hook that has an eye at the top of it, that the metal around the eye is only about 3/4 of an inch round, which means you're still going to be able to use an 1/8 inch pilot hole to screw in your eye hook. Okay. So
Thomas.
What'd he say?
He's answering the question. Same thing I was thinking. Work backwards. Yeah. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, you look at the eye hooks and it tells you the weight limit on the package, and you can kind of figure out what size chain you're going to use, what size eye hook you need, and then buy just what you need.
Yeah, the typical eye hook for a stained glass window, like 3x4, is going to be, an 1.5 inches long, and it's going to be about 3/16 in diameter. So yeah, just look at the weight limit on the eye hooks. I have several different sizes here in a case that I use, and I didn't think about it. I would have had some here on the table for you to show you. But
Joanne said it's about 17 by 36.
Oh, well, then you just need little tiny hooks, not little tiny hooks.
Tiny.
About the size I just described to you, about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, and the shank on them is about 3/4 of an inch long, and it's about 5/32 in diameter, and you'll use an 1/8 inch drill bit to pilot the hole.
Karen's here. Hey, Karen, I'm glad you made it.
Hey, glad you made it. So 17 by 36, you're probably, let's see, I'll tell you about how much it's going to weigh. Hang on.
With a wood frame.
Yeah, with a wood frame, I can tell you about how much it's going to weigh.
Oh.
So that's basically 4.5 feet, 4.5 square feet. It's going to weigh about 35 pounds with the frame, about 35 pounds. That's
There you
basically letting it ride at about 6.5 pounds a square foot, which will include your glass, which is 2.3 pounds a square foot, and then your solder and everything else you're adding to it and your frame. So
Thank
about
you,
6.5 pounds a square foot.
Thank you, Ed.
You're welcome, dear.
That's very informative. You have all those numbers in your head.
No, I had my phone.
Oh, okay. Oh, you had. Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
just had to figure the square footage. I have the numbers of the weight of things, but yeah, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to do a. Oh, we don't want to do that. But if you want your work considered for the viewer showcase, send a message to us. You can go to conwayglass.com and you'll see a little thing that comes up to send us a message, and you can just send us a message.
All right. So we're going to do
Okay.
one more little demo. I'm going to remind everybody that when you're cutting iridized glass, you cut on the iridized side. And you want to do that because the iridized side is usually the side that's up, because the sodium chloride that's on this is sprayed on the surface while the glass is still hot. But I wanted to show you how to attack this piece of glass here. We want these two narrow pieces, but this narrow piece on this side has to have this little notch in it. So here's the thing. If we cut this line first, we'll never get this out because this is going to break. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, and I just drove right through a pothole. So we're going to take our grousing pliers and we're going to pull down and away. Okay, just like that. So now we have that part out. And what we want to do now and we're going to spin this around because we just finished it. And we've got just enough room. There we go. So let's just pretend that we didn't take this piece out. So how are you going to score it? You're going to need 2 pairs of grousing pliers because you're going to have to hold on to it somehow or another. And if you hold on to it with your running pliers, okay, and you got your grousing pliers, hang on, let me do this. You got your grousing plier, and you squeeze too hard on your runners, guess what? The idea of your pliers is not to squeeze hard, but it's to hold the glass, pull down and away. Okay.
Okay.
So if you're squeezing too hard on pliers that you're trying to hold the glass with, the glass is going to break anyway, and then you're going to become frustrated. So learn how to use your pliers. Learn how to use them gingerly. Okay.
Gently press your pliers.
Gently caress the glass with your pliers.
Okay. Burnt Raw Toast wants to know what iridized glass was. You got a little piece there. We'll put it up in the camera. It has a metal coating on it. Is that correct? It has a metal
it's
coating?
in my book. I wrote it down.
What is it called?
Hang on.
Anyway. Just show.
Anyway, I want to show you the iridized glass.
Can you see it? There.
Yeah, hang on.
There you go. And it has a metal coating, and I cannot remember.
It's an oxide that is sprayed on the glass. Hang on, I'll tell you exactly.
It's a metal oxide that's sprayed on the glass, and he's looking it up right now.
It's like a salt is what it is.
But there's a lot of different colors that they make in the iridized. I don't know how many colors they're making now, but we have this pretty blue. We do have some red too, don't we?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so
here's the thing, y'all. Ray, you might want to look this up, but it's called what is sprayed on the surface of the glass is called stannous, STANNOUS chloride. Okay, it's sprayed on the glass while it's hot, and then it dries and it produces this. So it's a chloride, which means it's nasty.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to wear a respirator when they spray it on. They spray it on blown glass too. That's what gives it the iridized look.
Yeah, because in the blown glass industry, shiny sells, and by making it iridized, it becomes shiny. So anyway, this is a beautiful glass here. That's actually a Wismac glass too.
Okay, so Karen says that her internet might be choppy, or is it us? I don't know.
I don't know. Anybody else having any problems with us becoming in and out, fading, choppy?
Julie wants to know how you would cut that angle out of a little piece of iridized.
Cut what angle, Julie?
How would you cut that angle out of a little piece of iridized? I don't know. Which, all good. She said all good. Okay, I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry,
think the
Julie.
question came in after you had done something.
Okay, so let's do one more.
Okay,
Let's see if
not
we
choppy.
can get this.
I don't know. What you gonna do? Oh,
Let's
yeah.
see if we can get this half circle out of here.
Wait a minute. Let me get in on you. Okay, go for it.
And it, you know what? And we're getting ready to jump into a big divot. Here we go. Oh my, keep driving, everybody. Keep driving.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna try and pull down slightly, and it may break right here.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try and pull down very slightly just so that I can get it started. It popped. Guess what? We might get this out, y'all. So now I want to put my pliers on the outside because this is the meat of what's going on, and I want to be able to grab a hold of it on the inside. Now I'm going to pull down ever so slightly. Here's again. It's a good chance it's going to go to its weakest point, which may be right there. Okay. And it's okay.
It's okay if it does.
Let's try. See it? It went to its weakest point because what I'm doing, y'all, is I'm pulling down and I'm trying to pull away, but you're also trying. See that? That's its weakest point. And there's no using running pliers. Hopefully, the best thing I can say is that we needed this piece of glass and not this one. Otherwise, what you really need to do, okay, let me put this back together.
Yeah.
What you really need to do with a piece of glass like this, okay, I'll put this back together. With this piece of glass, in order to get this out and keep this piece of glass should be about this wide.
Yeah.
Once you get this out, your last cut, your last score should be the width of this piece of glass that you need for your window. So it should come out like that, and you should be able to score this and get that, okay? Because if you have more fat here on glass, you have more glass out here, make this your last cut because this will come out if you've got more. If you got more glass out here than you have out here, okay? So just think about your scores and your cuts. And I knew that wasn't going to work, but you know what? That's the other thing that I want to show you is that it doesn't always work for me either, y'all. And so the thing that I do, I don't get frustrated any longer. I just go on and keep moving on. And I may come back to that piece, or I may just go ahead and cut it. But the best way to approach that piece of glass is to give yourself more glass on the opposite side of that half circle so that you've got where the weight's coming from is the outside, and you can get that half circle out of there. If we had a wider piece of glass, we would definitely be able to do that. So
Vicky G is here.
Hey,
and
Vicky.
She says that every once in a while she'll bring home a piece of glass that she can only describe as crumbly when it's cut. Have you seen that?
And where would you be purchasing that glass at?
Well, a distributor or her glass shop. What brand is it? I mean,
yeah, who makes?
We recently experienced that here at the store. We were unpacking some glass that
Someone gave to us.
Yeah, that we had, and it was Oceanside, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to badmouth anybody, but I'm gonna tell you what, that glass is yuck.
So
It's not annealed
it's
right.
not usual. It's not usual.
And
It should not be crumbling.
it,
Oh, rainbow art glass. No, well that's
that's not a manufacturer.
that's
That's
not a
just
manufacturer.
that's a store. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're buying at Hobby Lobby, you may be buying. There is a glass, and I don't even know the name of it. It had a sticker on it, but there's some glass that, and you can, when you pick it up, you can kind of feel it's lighter. It's a
Right.
little bit thinner.
It's a little bit thinner. It's wrapped in a sheet of plastic, clear plastic.
And
And it when you score it, it goes. You score it, and then you break it, and it goes dink.
yeah, it even
So
sounds different.
It sounds different, but what it does is it
Shiny
pulls it
glass.
apart in like half circles, which are typically caused by heat breaks. Okay. And when it goes dink like that and jumps apart, that glass is under a tremendous amount of stress, which tells me they're not annealing that glass correctly. They're in too big of a hurry and they haven't worked out all the bugs, and then they're selling it. And I personally, I don't like it.
So it's being sold at Hobby Lobby, and it seems like Kat St. Jane said that there's some China glass. There is some. I would stick with the U.S. manufacturers of glass. You're not going to go wrong. If
you got Bullseye, Yakagani, Wismac, Kokomo, Euroburrows, and you know what?
That's about it.
That's about it.
And we have a lot of old Spectrum, the real Spectrum, and we have some old Chicago art glass here, but we're not going to stock that glass from China because, and I don't want to,
we're not bad mouthing anybody, but
it's just the annealing process is not perfected yet,
right?
And we don't want you guys to waste money.
Yeah, because if you're, because I saw some of the prices on some of these sheets that we no longer have, and I definitely would not have to be able to. I'd have paid $12 for it if I could cut it, but you can't cut it, so it wasn't worth anything to me. So
she said maybe it was a bad run. Maybe it was, but
it could be. But their annealers run all the time, and it's on a Lear, and so it doesn't change it. They're running it through too fast, not giving it time for. See, here's the thing, y'all. When glass is being made, the molecules are going crazy. Okay, they're dancing, they're going crazy. As the glass cools down, the molecules slow down. When the glass is fully annealed correctly, they fit like that, okay? And they don't pull apart. If it's done right, like Wismac, like Kokomo, like Bullseye, like Yakagani, like Euroburrows, like Oceana, if it's done right, then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And every now and then you do get a piece that breaks goofy. And
yeah,
where you're going to find that? Yeah, where you're going to find that is your normal thicker than usual textured glasses. But not all the time. And I'm afraid until they get their stuff, the annealing process down correctly in Mexico, we're going to have problems with that glass.
Okay, so Joanne wants to know why you like lead nippers instead of a lead knife.
Just because I mark everything with a pencil, and I like the lead nippers because usually when I'm working on something, I like to be able to miter consistently and correctly. And I also like to work pretty fast. And the lead knife doesn't allow me that royalty to work fast. But the lead nippers, they fit in my hand. And, we have the best lead nippers on the market, which is the Lepinex. And I love their hand tools. They're just a really good hand tool. We now also have their grousing pliers in stock. We have their running pliers in stock. And what else do we have, Barb?
Well, we have a super sticker from Christine.
Hey, Christine, thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, let's get a pretty color up there. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Christine.
Thank you very much. And I hope that when we answered your question, that we answered it to your liking, and that we answered it to where you could understand it. And thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody.
Okay, so do we have any more questions? Anybody have a question? Go ahead and put it in the chat.
Yeah, if you got another question for us, please put it in the chat. We've cut up some beautiful glass tonight, Barb. We've got some great people on our channel tonight. We got a lot of people back in the Waynes because, you know, we picked up 500 subscribers this week. And I don't know what else to say except thank you.
Christine said you did answer her question.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you.
Okay, so do we have any more questions? Anybody want to share anything? We'll hang out for another minute or so. If you have a question, we'll hang out until we answer all your questions.
Yeah, we will, because
that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. We're here to answer your questions. And you know, right here, now that we've made it through an hour and 10 minutes, and we're really loving this. So just before we sign out, while we're waiting on any other questions, we want to give a big shout out again to Sunshine Glassworks. Thank you for sponsoring our channel, our Q&A.
Oh, you know what? We forgot
week.
to share something with y'all. Last week we were talking about. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
No,
I just
okay.
remembered.
I just wanted to thank Sunshine for being a sponsor.
Okay, let me pull that up.
Okay.
There we go.
Thanks, Sunshine.
Thank
Appreciate
you, Sunshine. But I was going to do. I'll do that again too. Last week, did we go over this?
We didn't.
Okay, Ray.
Ray.
Thank you.
We last week we were talking about the color wheel. So Ray, being the kind gentleman that he is, and he researched a color wheel, and he found a different kind of color wheel rather than just the basic one. So Barb, why don't you explain it to our viewers?
So you can go to designbombs.com, and you can go in there and you can pick out your favorite color on the wheel, and it will pair it with a color in the opposite position, or you can pair it with a contrast with a high level of vibrancy, or a split complementary, however you want to do it.
So it's very useful.
And that Design Bombs website is really good. So if you do social media, they have a lot of free stuff on that website. I would definitely go there. They'll give you, it'll be a big help.
Yeah. And Ray, thank you for taking the time to look that up and supply it to us, but not only to us, Ray, but to our viewers. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So that was fun. I love that website. That was a great website. All right. Now let's go back. And we shall. You want to say thank you to our sponsor?
I want to thank you. Say thank you to our sponsor, Sunshine, and we appreciate it. So, and don't forget, if you do order something from Sunshine, if you order it online, just put down in the little comment box, RDRV Glass Studio, and just let them know, please, that you're ordering from them because you heard it on the RDRV Glass Studio channel, because we'd like to keep them as a sponsor. So.
Okay, so let's see. Susan wants to know. She saw a leaded stained glass window that had a design element. 8 lead cane lines coming together at a point in the center of the window. They were joined by a large blob of solder. Is there any way to shave the cane down to make the lines finer but still support the glass, or should the design just be avoided? Yes, avoid that.
I would avoid that unless you put,
attractive.
you got to put something in the center. You just can't stick a bunch of lead together and solder and hope that it works, because it doesn't. It, like you said, it probably looks crummy.
Yeah. Yeah, I would rework that design. Well, it's not yours, right? It's just something that you saw. I would just say,
wow.
No, not my cup of tea.
Yeah, nor is it my goat.
Okay, so
because that when you get all those lead lines together like that, it probably looks really good everywhere but the middle. Mm-hmm. And they do make lead rosettes that you could cover that up with. Mm-hmm. And they also make jewels, nuggets, and other a variety of things that should have been put in that window as opposed to pointing all those pieces together. So
Yes. Kat St. Jane said that Northern Hardwood has pre-cut sizes of wood.
oh, that's good.
Yeah, so you just find out what size that finished pre-cut is and make your window to that
Yeah,
size.
so if you have Northern Hardwoods is accessible, but like I said, I just go to Franklin Art Glass. I've got a great rapport with them. I've been ordering them from them for forever, a long time, and they really, they know their game, and they just get me that one particular product out, and I love it.
Thank you, Joanne. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Joanne, so much. Y'all got the strobe light working good tonight, working
We
overtime.
appreciate
Thank you.
that so much.
Thank you so much.
Now, did we okay, let me get back in this. Did we get Christine's super sticker up there?
We did.
Okay, thank you. Thank you guys for all the super stickers. We really do appreciate that.
Yeah, and thanks for tuning in tonight, Susan. You always have some good questions, and we appreciate them very much.
Okay. Karen Mills wanted to know if people have their business names. Are you still working on your business name, Karen? Yeah, feel free to put your business name in here if
Sure.
you do have a business and share it with those that are here.
Yeah.
There is one more question here. Raw Burnt Toast wants to, is it possible to get a list of suggested glass manufacturers?
The thing about
Go to sunshineglassworks.com and go to the glass section, and they got all the good glass there.
they list it all.
They
Yeah.
list it all, and the spellings are there. So go to
'cause-
sunshineglassworks.com and look at the glass. They have 1,500 colors of glass.
Yeah, and the thing about the manufacturers is, unless you go directly to their plant, they require you to order a lot. You can always purchase sheet glass up in their showrooms, but to purchase glass directly from the factory in large amounts, that's where you have to do it. However, you're going to find out that Sunshine has basically all the glass that you could think of, and the biggest sheet they can ship you is 16 by 24, and that would be like Spectrum sheets cut at 3 sheets of Spectrum gives you 3 16 by 24s, because Spectrum's 24 by 48. They do have some Oceanside glass. Remember, Oceanside is all 96 now. Basically, they went to the fusing people because you don't have to cut their glass apparently too much. So I don't know, but Wismac, Kokomo, Bullseye, Euroburrows, all of those companies that are in the United States are great glass to buy, purchase, and build windows out of. So
Burnt Raw Toast, any glass that Sunshine sells will be a good quality glass. So
Yep.
just go there and look at those names, and those would be the good manufacturers.
yeah, because Bar, they've been in business since 1979. So like us, they have weeded out all the bad people.
Karen said she's going to name her well, she's looking at glass at the mills. That's interesting. I like it.
That.
I like it.
Actually, Karen, I like that better than Mama Kay's creations.
Yeah, I think that's kind of in that.
And because you're up in the upstate where all the cotton mills used to be, I think I'm in it. And I know that's mills isn't mills as in mills. I know it's your last name, but I think it's great, Karen.
Or Glassworks at the mill.
Glassworks at the mills.
Or Glasswork. Something like that. Yeah, it's good, Karen. Play with it and go with it.
Run like the wind, girl.
Oceanside bought Euroburrows and Spectrum and is now making them in Mexico. Okay. Oh, we'll see how it all turns out. And I'm, this what we're getting may be made somewhere else, or it may be some early runs.
It may
they'll
be
have
early
problem
runs,
with.
you know, who knows? Because
Who knows
and maybe
what's
they
on
got
the-
it right. You know, they have engineers, they have all those people that they need to do this. They just need to get the plant running correctly. That's all.
Rochelle Otter Ice is here. Hi,
Hey, Rochelle. Good to have you, hon.
Okay. What, we have any more questions?
No, because I don't want to badmouth Oceanside. I'm just saying that what we have that was Oceanside was not any good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like the Oceanside nuggets in the glass blowing industry. Nobody likes those either. So
Okay.
So I think
I'm reading the messages. Tom said that was talking about Spectrum and the EPA changes that put them out of business.
Yeah.
That was kind of unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate because Spectrum had it going on. They had some of the easiest glass to work with. May
Good
not have
quality.
always been the prettiest glass in the market, but it was very easy to work with, very forgiving. And, it was great for certain projects. And I love Spectrum. And a lot of people learned how to cut glass on Spectrum too, Barb.
That's right. Okay, so happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day. I hope you didn't labor too much today.
I hope you had a nice day off and enjoyed your day with family or friends or cooking out or whatever you did. And we will be back next Monday.
Live
At 7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock.
But you'll be hearing from us all week. We're working on several big projects, and we're doing a lot of things here, a lot of big changes. And we thank you guys for hanging in there.
We can't do this without y'all. So those of you back in the wings that are watching the show that haven't chimed in the chat yet,
we love having you here.
Yeah, we'd love to have you here. We know that you're there, and we just thank you for being there. And maybe eventually chime in. And because we'll recognize you, because we recognize all new faces. So
happy Labor Day, everyone, and have a great week. And we'll see you next week.
And again, thanks for the 1 million views, everybody.
We appreciate